Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias. Youth Sailing and the Emerging Nations Program is one of the three main pillars of my candidacy for President of World Sailing. When I was president of the 49er class, after the success of the Olympic Games in Sydney, Julian Bethwaite and I met in here, and he had the great idea to create and build a small 49er specifically aimed for the youth, for the world. It is the 29er. We wanted to bring young people into the colorful, exciting world of sailing. I subsequently became the first president of the 29er class for 5 years. Later on, in 2011, I created the Emerging Nations Program for the 2014 World Championships in Santander, with a substantial support from the IOC through Olympic Solidarity. It was a huge success in terms of M&As and young sailors participating in clinics we organized worldwide. One of the focus of the new Board of World Sailing is Youth and Emerging Nations Program, building with young sailors the future of our sport. The training and development activity of world sailing has suffered a substantial reduction in the last 4 years. They were the big losers, the victims because of financial problems. With a change in leadership, we now have a new opportunity to rebuild these programs, individually with M&As and in close cooperation with the continental associations. Why is this Youth and Emerging Nations Program so important? The educational value of sailing. Among Olympic sports, sailing is the best university for life. Sailing develops many skills, fair play, and a competitive spirit. Unlike any other sport, sailing requires a combination of extraordinary physical shape, intelligence for winning tactics, and a solid knowledge of physics. Resources we need to succeed. First of all, money, a much bigger share of the world sailing budget, a well-designed sponsorship program, permanent local coaches in key geographic areas, a permanent infrastructure, a safe harbor close to where it is needed, boats of course, and a close cooperation with Olympic Solidarity. Sponsors. There's much room for new global sponsors worldwide, which do not compete with local sponsors. This is the responsibility of world sailing. We want to create tailor-made programs for youth and emerging nations, which are very attractive target for sponsors. Why? Because sponsors want to help the Youth Emerging Nations Program, the growth of our sport. They do not want to finance infrastructure and operating expenses. I believe that the World Sailing Trust is then the perfect organization to execute this initiative with the individual M&As. Best practices. World Sailing has worked very well in this area, but it lacks of course money. Best practices to follow are the initiatives in programs in the United Kingdom, Australia, USA, New Zealand, France, and other countries. Just look at their websites. They have really attractive programs. I invite other M&As to share with our new board, if elected, these new ideas and experiences. Then we have to work closely with the continental associations who know best the specific needs in each region. And finally, World Sailing strategy for the next 4 years. First, to move the training and development program area out of London, close to where it is needed, in Asia, in Africa, in the Caribbean, Latin America, Middle East, and other areas. Second, in a safe harbor, will support this World Sailing initiative, and financial and human resources should be made available by these regions. Third, redesign the World Sailing Trust as the right organization to execute the development program. Substantially increase the emerging nations and youth programs with a committed world sailing staff, repositioned, reassigned to new responsibilities, including sponsorship. My years working with the IOC in sponsorship and the relationship and trust I've developed over the years will definitely be useful in this case. Next, make sailing affordable and better serving urban youth and selected M&As. Promote Para-Olympic program. Help reduce socio-economic barriers in sailing and promote gender diversity in specific cultures and regions. Let me take this opportunity to state that this will give the current world sailing staff a new, exciting opportunity. I'm aware that the years have been very tough. The last thing I want, losing valuable, loyal and experienced world sailing staff. There are enough vanity expenses to start the needed cost-cutting program. The last, final and key messages. World sailing has to shift its attention to the emerging nations and the youth. Give the World Sailing Trust a new purpose, a new life. Bring the world sailing physically closer where the needs are, in the emerging nations. Thank you very much.